Hey, good evening. Just getting ready to hit the rack, and I have something that I just wanted to share with you. I ran onto something that was pretty neat today, and I wanted to share it um, as there's kind of a spiritual implication to it. If you're a student of Asian culture, Japanese culture, then you know that in the Japanese culture, this is a culture that can take seemingly mundane tasks and turn them into an art form. Even something as simple as brewing tea can become a pursuit of excellence. Well, in the Japanese culture, I ran onto an art that is called kintsugi. Kintsugi is an art that is literally translated as golden joinery. Now, in kintsugi, a potter will take a broken cup or maybe a vase and put it back together. And they'll glue it back together. But what they'll do is they'll use a special lacquer that is mixed with gold dust. Now, the thing about this is, normally when we break something and try to put it back together with super glue, we try to put it back together in a way that you can't really tell it was broken. That's not the purpose of kintsugi. Kintsugi is an art that, in its philosophy, uh, breakage and repair is part of the history of an object, and it tells a story about the object, and it's not something that's to be hidden or disguised. But think about this. Imagine you've got this really cheap, inexpensive, just a cup, and it didn't cost you hardly anything, and you break it, right? But then you put it back together with this glue that literally has gold in it. It's probably a little expensive, right? So you've got this cheap cup that's put back together with this expensive kind of glue, this expensive lacquer. It's feasible that the most costly and expensive part of that cup becomes the actual crack itself. And it just got me to thinking about the human frame, the human soul, right? Our life can sometimes break us. Think about how you've been broken in your life. Maybe it was a relationship that broke you, ended in divorce, right? There's no sin in divorce. But you can be broken by that. Maybe abortion, maybe a drug addiction broke you. Maybe a lifestyle or pride broke you, right? And you were put back together by the Lord. What does the Lord put us back together with? He puts us back together with His grace and His mercy and His love. And when He puts us back together with those, what ends up happening is when He puts me back together, He gives me a story, right? The scars are still there. I still have the memories. I still remember what happened. But I had this story of how I recovered and how the Lord recovered me from a brokenness, right? So what does that do? I find somebody else who's been broken in the same way. How do I help put that person back together with the golden grace of God's love, right? My scars that were put back together with the golden grace of God's love tells that person a story. My scars are visible. I don't hide them. They become part of my history. They become part of my story. And so what happens is my brokenness and my scars help another to see who Jesus Christ is, right? So don't be ashamed of your scars. Don't be ashamed of the road you've been down. Don't let the world tell you that you need to be ashamed of the road that you've been down if you've recovered from it, right? Let that road, let those scars tell stories to other people so that they can know who Jesus Christ is. So just be encouraged by that. Don't let anybody tell you that your past is something that needs to hold you down or weigh you down. Your past might be the very thing that propels another person forward into an eternity with Jesus. So, look, if you know somebody that needs to hear this, share it and encourage them with it. So, love you. Oh, I hope you have a good night.